So I'm going to give you guys some time to look at these photos, okay? So you will see 6 gentlemen on my screen, okay? These 6 gentlemen played a very, very famous role in popular culture. Um, if you're closer to my age, you probably only remember the last two, but James Bond 007, shaken not stirred, right? We know James Bond as, he is the blueprint for secret agent movies, right? And of course, like any other franchise, James Bond has trademarks. Okay, the James Bond trademarks are managed by a U.S. based company called Donjak, Danjaq, and another company based in London called Eon, which produces the James Bond movies. Okay, now, what, aside from shaken not stirred, what is a famous phrase that James Bond says? And the name gives it away. We like James Bond, they'll go or be like, the name's Bond, James Bond, right? That is trademarked. If you didn't know, that phrase is trademarked. But one of the things, and keep in mind, the James Bond franchise is worth billions of dollars, not millions with an M. It's worth billions with a B, right? So of course, they are trademarked, copyrighted up. Here's the problem, right? Now this is happening in the US and in the UK. There is an Austrian business person. So this guy doesn't even live in the United States or in England, right? He's in Austria doing his business thing. And he's just looking up trademarks. I guess he likes James Bond or whatever. He's actually he's in construction. He's building stuff out in Dubai, and I guess he wants to name some of his stuff after James Bond. So apparently he found out that aside from movies, and merch, the James Bond franchise has trademarks for the phrase "the name's Bond, James Bond" in areas such as car models, computer programs, digital comics, and electric publications. Now, I've definitely seen James Bond merch in terms of clothing. It might be a folder or a poster, but have we ever seen a James Bond car model? Have we ever seen it for a computer program? Maybe, do they have a James Bond, what you call it? Computer game? Do we have James Bond digital comics, electronic comics? So these are all the things that they have trademarks in, right? But apparently they haven't been putting out products in those areas. So the Austrian businessman, he is petitioning to have their trademark canceled both in the US and in Europe for non-use. So guys, when you have your trademarks, right? You have to renew your trademark every year, but there is also a statement of use that has to be done every 5 years so that the government knows that that it's still in use. Like if you haven't used your trademark in 5 years, another party who wants it can come in and say, hey, this person isn't using that trademark like they said they would. I think you should cancel it. And then they pick it up. So it is important that you, if you have gone through the trouble of preserving your intellectual property, your trademarks, it is important that you keep them up. Make sure that you're using them in commerce. Make sure that you are, renewing it when it's supposed to be renewed so that somebody can't come snatch it up under you. Now, I'm sure the people who own the James Bond trademarks are probably going to fight this tooth and nail and figure out something to get around it. But this is just a reminder that it doesn't matter how big or how small you are when it comes to intellectual property. The rules apply equally. Okay. So yes, good luck to Bonds. And you may like a martini, but I like a margarita. Okay, so